again for joining us for another awesome Student Live. As usual, if you have any questions or comments during today's session, just feel free to enter them right below. Today's topic is you can sit with us. So unlike what you all learned from watching Mean Girls, in Student Life, we have a spirit of inclusivity, which means we want everyone to be involved or included in all of our initiatives, and student organizations are a huge part of that. So today we're going to talk about how you can actually join a student organization and what are some of the benefits involved in being in an actual club. And so with me today, I have three very special guests.
Hi everyone, my name is Michelle Levine. My official role at the college is District Director of Faculty Development, but I have also been a faculty member here at the college for 17 years, and I am the advisor of the InTech Club. I've been the advisor of the club for about 8 years. Originally, we were called Women in Tech, and then we switched our name over to InTech a few years ago.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. I'm Jason Anfinson, also known as Information Jason. I'm a faculty librarian. I've been at Broward College for almost 2 years now, and I'm the club advisor for Veg Club. And I started the Veg Club because I have been a vegan for a quarter of a century, a long time. So happy to be with you today.
Hi, everyone. My name is Laura Pazarina. I have been a faculty member since 2018, January 2018, so I'm going into my third year now. I am the faculty for criminal justice, and I mostly teach crime scene investigations. I am the advisor for the Crime Scene Investigations Club, which I started a couple of years ago, and I also assist with the Criminal Justice Club, or the ACJA Club.
Awesome. So we are so excited to have all three of you with me today. Before we jump into the topic, I would like to know how everybody is doing. Haven't seen you all really in 6 months now, so.
Doing great, Stephanie. The kids started virtual school. I have 3 little ones at home, so we've been really, really busy in my house, but we're learning, and the kids are following a mommy's footsteps and becoming really good with technology, so it's going well.
Yeah, same thing here. I think during the initial part of the shutdown, I think I sort of ate a lot, and I think I gained a couple pounds. In fact, I know I gained a couple pounds. And after I threw my scale out into the Atlantic Ocean, I started a new routine this fall. So getting up a little earlier, exercising a little bit more, so that's helped. And I'm also going for a second advanced degree, a postmaster's degree, a specialist degree in information at Florida State University, and then I will actually graduate this December. So kind of a lot of stuff going on in the old brain, but please give me compliments and tell me I don't look fat from all that vegan food.
It's called the Quarantine 15, Jason, don't you know?
Ah, now I have a label for it. Thank you. Or should I say thank you?
So I've been doing pretty well. Interestingly, I actually see the outdoors more now that I'm home, because I force myself to take breaks and go in my backyard and bounce on my trampoline and let my dogs out. So I've actually seen more sun. So that's been kind of nice. This fall is going to be interesting because I'm doing some in person and some online, or some remote. So I'm a little back and forth because I'm doing some labs in person. So it's going to be an interesting transition with having to do both worlds. But overall, it's been going pretty well. We found some interesting creative ways to make things happen. So it's been going pretty well.
Good. I'm glad to hear that all of you have reports of success for us. That's what we like to hear. So positivity coming out of the circumstances. I'm very excited to talk about some of the things that we have up and coming in student life. I know that I've already been flooding your inboxes with all that is coming this fall. But next week, we have a very important program coming up for usually our newer students. I know current students get involved in this as well. But one of the biggest questions we get at the onset of a school year is, what clubs do you have and how do I get to join them? So next week on Tuesday and Thursday, September 8th and 10th, we have Club Rush coming up. And so that is basically a student's opportunity to do that. We're hosting it virtually, as the three of you know. So we're excited to see what turnout is going to look like this year, because like I said, we have still gotten so much student interest, especially from our newer students enrolling at the college. And we're very blessed at Broward because really between all the campuses and centers, we have upwards of like 100 different student organizations that students can get involved in, and they can be based on like cultural affiliations, religious or spiritual affiliations, their majors or career pathways, random interests that they have. And of course, we have several honor societies and national chapters for some of our organizations as well. So lots of opportunities for students to kind of like just dive right in at the beginning of the semester. But from your experience, I'm curious to know, what are some of the benefits that you've been able to see, particularly with your students who get involved in clubs and organizations?
So Stephanie, I could go on and on and on about the benefits. There's so many. For one thing, it gives you an opportunity to meet other people. In my case, with the tech club, you get to meet other people who have common interests. You don't have to be a tech major, but if you like anything about technology or just want to learn more about technology, you can get involved. Another really great thing about the club is it gives you an opportunity to earn some real life experience in your field of study. So, you know, we talk all the time about the chicken and the egg. You know, you can't get the job without the experience, can't get the experience without the job. And being in the club really gives you an opportunity to build your resume, to build your portfolio, which is something that's really important in the technology field.
Yeah, absolutely, Stephanie. I think with Veg Club, there's a lot of different skills that students can work on and gain. You know, being information Jason, a lot of what we do in Veg Club is plant-based information literacy. So a lot of it has to do with looking at labels. A lot of it has to do with, you know, communicating with different companies, right? Or, is this ingredient in what you sell? And then also the social part of it too, whether it's in the WhatsApp group chat, or whether it's you know, sending email communication, two-way communication back and forth, listening skills, time management, you know, just making the meetings, project management, you know, what are we doing this fall? So I think there's a lot of benefits that kind of enhance the learning experience at Broward College, and I hope everyone joins, not even just the Veg Club, any club, because I think you will get a lot out of it, and it also it's fulfilling, and it gives you something to look forward to as you advance on your learning journey and your professional career.
Yeah, as Michelle and Jason were talking about, there's so many benefits to being in a club. There's the social aspects, the meeting new people, like-mindedness. But one of the things that we've really seen, especially this year, is just the opportunity to be so creative. So students have the chance to come up with new ideas that are theirs. We just guide the process as advisors, but the students truly have gotten to be so creative in this virtual world of having to meet people. And the ideas have just been phenomenal. They've come up with ways to meet online and ways to do different scenarios and events. And it's been a really awesome opportunity and benefit for students to just open up that creativity in something that they're truly interested in with people that are similar to them.
Yeah, I agree with you. Obviously, selfishly, from my perspective, there are lots of benefits like the relationship building piece, the resume building piece, just that connectivity. And again, finding a friend, someone who has like similar interests to you, like there's just so much power in that and sense of belonging that our students want and need. And from a student life perspective, like I said, this is really at the heart of what we're doing every day, which is student development. And I think what's amazing for us, one of the things that we get to experience with students is watching them grow and then getting to hear about it after the fact, like them coming back and saying like, thanks so much for this. And because of this, I got to do insert X, Y, and Z. So I'm curious to know if any of you had any recent success stories from your students that you can share.
Yes, I would love to share. So I actually just received an email about a week or two ago from one of my former club presidents. She just graduated this past December. And, you know, in this time of COVID, it's been really difficult with the workforce. And so she actually decided to start not only one business, but two. And what's really amazing about this is she had participated in another activity that we did, BCX, where we taught about starting businesses and I remember, and it was only a year ago, she said, I'm not a business owner, I'm not an entrepreneur, I can't start my own business. And here she is 1 year later, starting not just one, but two businesses. And in her email, she really talks so much about the club and how much confidence it gave her, how it built her leadership skills, and how she never would be where she is right now if it wasn't for the InTech Club. So it just really touched my heart.
Yeah, absolutely. The different benefits kind of go across the board. So for instance, last semester's president of Veg Club transferred to Florida International University and then started a Veg Club there, taking what they had learned here and then just kind of enhancing it, more students, you know, kind of a bigger pool of vegan fish, if you will. And then also we've had people this semester want to join, you know, there's an executive board, so your president, your vice president, so on. But once we had all those slots filled, we had people reaching out to us and saying, okay, well, maybe I can be the cool sort of veggie ambassador. And then somebody else was like, oh, maybe I can, you know, maybe I'll be the sticker maker. And so people are, you know, as we talked about, getting really creative and seizing the opportunity and not taking any sort of, you know, shutdown or remote instruction in a negative way, but taking on that challenge in a really positive light and being creative. And I think there's a lot of fulfillment in that. And there's a, you know, definitely tremendous benefit of joining a student life organization, again, to kind of, you know, ride shotgun, if you will, to your main student learning that you're doing at Broward College, for sure.
Yeah, similar to Michelle, I had a student email me and tell me that they were successful in getting a position as a crime scene investigator at one of our local police agencies. And that's really unheard of in this field without any sort of experience at all. This student was a Broward College graduate, had no experience, but she was very involved in our crime scene club. She was on the executive board. She helped us with setting up scenarios. She had a portfolio started. And a lot of that helped her with succeeding in getting a job in this very difficult field to actually get your foot in the door. And that was very, very impressive. It still gives me chills. Like, that's just so cool to hear that a student was able to get a job in this field without any experience, which is very difficult. And a lot of that is contributed to her involvement in the student club, as well as just in her classes in general. And I think some of the other successes that I've heard and seen, personally observed from the students, is just seeing them grow and flourish as leaders. They're not only successful in careers, such as what we've discussed, but just personally, their success has just completely changed them. They've grown from these introverted, quiet students to being leaders. They weren't talking, they were very quiet, didn't say anything, and now they're jumping at the chance to be executive boards or veggie ambassadors or anything like that. Like, they just jump at the opportunity to move forward when previously that's not who they were. And that just is a different type of success. It's a personal success that we see these students just grow, and they come back and they volunteer on their own time just to continue what they know is their personal success.
Yeah, I love that so much too, because I agree with you, Laura. One of our favorite things in the office is when students first come to you, like, you do see that transformational change. And that's kind of, like I said, at the heart of what we're doing or what we're trying to do always in student life, is put on what we call transformational events or initiatives. So we get to see, while they're with us, still that change. And then, of course, the side benefit, we get to hear about it after the fact, since, you know, after they graduate and they move forward. So we just love hearing about the successes that students have based on their involvement. But I know for a fact, especially with incoming students, they are very quickly intimidated, not knowing what this involvement looks like, or what the time commitment's going to look like, or what the expectations are. So maybe could the three of you share some light on, from your perspective, what that looks like in your role, or how you encourage your students to balance their commitment to the organization in addition to all the other things that they're doing as a student?
Absolutely. So I always, on day one of every class that I've ever taught, I always talk about getting involved. And I know that our students are extremely busy. A lot of them are working full time, you know, they're taking classes, possibly taking care of family members. But I always say that you're not going to learn everything you need to learn inside the classroom. You need to leave, I call it goob, get out of the building, and you need to actually, get involved in whatever way that you can. So, with our club, we do meet regularly twice a week, but we also, just as Jason and Laura's groups, we also have ways that we connect online virtually, and the students work on projects together during their own time. We have events all the time. So even if you can only come to 1 or 2 events during the semester, whatever you can do to increase your involvement, just to see what we're about. We welcome everybody. There's, one of the things we talk about a lot in our technology field is it's called imposter syndrome. It's when you think you don't know enough, that you're not ready to get involved, that you don't have enough experience or the skill level. And I can tell you, everybody in the world feels that way all the time. And we welcome everybody, no matter what your skill level is, no matter how much time you have to give us, we will welcome you. The club members are, I cannot even, I'm beaming with pride just thinking about them. They're so welcoming, so kind, and just willing to help everybody who comes. And any time commitment you can give us is great.
Yeah, totally. So Veg Club is a very safe and inclusive club. We have vegetarians, vegans, meat eaters, carnivores, like, give me the red meat. Like, okay, come on in, let's have a conversation. And because Veg Club is more plant-based information literacy, we're talking about where did you get your food from? Who owns that company? Where you provide, oh, did you know they also own this product too? So, and just a lot of nutritional information, financial information, a lot of different literacies that we work on, environmental. And so, going back to your question, you get out of it what you put into it, right? If you're going to join the football team and you say, let's go beat the other team, but you never practice, you never rehearse, you never talk to any of your other teammates, you just show up, you probably aren't going to beat the other team. So yeah, kind of poke around, see what other clubs are out there, see what interests you have, and meet some new friends and have that social circle, and then you start seeing the opportunities. And then, since I come from the world of improv, before I was a librarian, I spent 10 years touring internationally as an improv comedian, and the basic rule of improv is yes and. So taking the idea that's given to you, accepting it, and then building on it. And we do a great job of that with our executive board, and really just looking at different opportunities. And if somebody pipes in and says, hey, let's do this, hey, yeah, that's right, let's do that, and let's see where it goes. So I think having that sort of freedom, I think, is really, really special here at Broward College for our student life organizations.
Yeah, so the expectations are similar, I think, across the board for a lot of the clubs. Is we'll take what you can give us, right? So as little or as much as you're willing to give. I think a lot of the clubs have some sort of group chat. We use WhatsApp. I believe the Veg Club uses WhatsApp. I know a lot of the different clubs do. And I can't tell you how often I hear the students late at night just chatting back and forth, chatting on the WhatsApp, and just communicating, and you learn and you talk to new people, and they're just chatting about everything. They talk about homework, they talk about lecture series coming up and events and what do you want to do. And a lot of that is done just on their own time. Just like you sit on your Facebook, they sit on WhatsApp and they chat together. And so it really is as much time as you can give. And even if you are working full time, you have kids at home, you have classes full time, you have 5 minutes, just jump on that WhatsApp and say, hey guys, I'm sorry I've been missed, have stuff going on, but what's happening coming up? And even that is beneficial. You meet these new people, and even if you just jump on there once a week or a couple minutes and you just talk to them, before you know it, they're going to be your classmates, they're going to be your coworkers in the future. And as little or as much as you have to give, we'll take. I think all clubs are like that across the board. As long as you just come and you say something, your advice, your input is always wanted.
Yeah, so what I love from this is, one, Michelle, what you're saying is true, which is like, we have this expectation and we're hoping students can meet it and we're upfront about it, but we know at Broward College that they're balancing a number of different priorities, so we give them that degree of flexibility. So Jason, to your point though, about you put in, like, what you put in is what you get out of it, then that's kind of how we meet their level of expectation, is whatever they're expecting to get out of it is the time that they have to put into it. And so I think, like I said, and then Laura, really, truly, at the end of the day, it's just like I said, we're flexible. So whatever their commitment can look like, we're very accepting of it. I think of it no different than like working with my advisors. You all hear me every single year in training say like, your commitment is really how you shape it. So you can attend every single meeting if you'd like. You can attend every other meeting if you'd like. You can meet just with the e-board. You can go to the events, not go to the events. Like, it just depends on your time and your time management more so. And like I said, you just shape that commitment and you make it work, however it works best for you and your availability. But all of you have had very different experiences, I'm sure, with your groups. They're all predicated on different areas or interests. And so I'm curious to know, from your experience serving now, a favorite memory or something that really stands out to you from serving in this capacity at the college.
So Stephanie, as you know, I've been here a while, so I don't think I can narrow it down to just one. So I'm going to give you a few. So one of the things that we do in my club, every semester we do a signature event, and we alternate between a women empowerment symposium and a networking event with our alumni. And we usually have one in the fall and one in the spring. And so the Women Empowerment Symposium has been such an amazing memory for me, because the students plan that entirely. So they call all of the speakers, they even design the flyers, the brochures, everything about it from beginning to end. I'm just the guide on the side, giving them whatever they need to help, but they're the ones who are doing all of the planning. And to see it carried out and to see them conducting the interviews with the panelists, it's just an absolute sense of pride for me to see that. And then the alumni event is really special, because that's our former club members coming back and talking to our current club members about their experiences now out in the workforce and how they got to where they are. And I remember specifically walking out of one of those events with some of my current students at the time. We were walking to the car and they said, "Oh, that was so awesome. That was so great." And I said, "Well, that'll be you up there next time." And I've been here long enough that I was actually able to see them up there. And so when I'm able to see them and have those memories of them being the ones asking the questions before, it's just, I call it my proud mama moments. I'm always just so proud of them. And then my last one was super special. Just right before the pandemic started, we got in a visit. So every October for the past 5 years, we've been doing a hackathon here at the college, sorry. And that's a huge event that we do. And the club members this past year worked together. They had 4 or 5 teams that they worked on projects together, and they each won. A lot of them won prizes at the hackathon. But what was so amazing is a local company here, Magic Leap, who does virtual reality, augmented reality, saw what they had done. One of the judges was from Magic Leap, and they invited the winning team to come out to Magic Leap and demo their app for the Magic Leap employees. And they invited me to come, which was just so special to me. So to be able to see them, as Laura said, come out of their shells. These are people who, otherwise would be shy, and to see them speaking to these, professionals in their field and talking about their app and demoing their app, that to me was one of my favorite memories here at the college. And that's just some of them. Thank you.
For me, it's kind of two different things. One, I came to Broward College and I met with Stephanie and I said, "Hey, we should probably do a veg club. Is there a veg club?" And focus more specifically on plant-based information literacy. And so it was kind of that if you build it, they will come sort of vibes, right? And people started coming and people started joining. And then people said, "Oh, students, I want to join the e-board." And then students were just coming out of nowhere, coming at it from maybe different religions, people coming at it having maybe different life situations, and now maybe vegetarianism is a must. Maybe it's doctor prescribed. Maybe they went to their favorite fast food restaurant their entire life and it's just fast food, and all of a sudden there's a vegan option. So we really talk about a lot of different things. And I really think that just having people show up and just having students, bring sort of their curiosity and their inquiries and their, just coming up with different ideas and thoughts that I didn't have, and this is a great way to do it. And like I said, yes, and let's go. And then also kind of having that training wheels come off moment where as the club advisor, I can see, oh, you got it. Like you're in the ocean, you're paddling, now you're up on the surfboard, now you're surfing, like you got it. You're running the show, your time management is good, you're making the meetings, all your communication is great, team building skills are on point. Like, that's cool. This is great. I'm getting everything out of it I want, just seeing all of you succeed. And then, by the way, I don't know really if this has been discussed so far, but you do see a boost in grades, right? You do see a higher concentration level. You do see more academic sort of rigor based on your involvement in these student organizations, because you know, you're juggling a lot of different things. You know, you're juggling class, and sometimes people take full course loads and then they're like, I also want to do this. And it's like, okay, well, this is what's expected. And they jump right in and they excel. And so I think just knowing that students can excel, and this helps them excel, it's like a win-win, right?
So our clubs do something pretty cool, and the Criminal Justice Club is a part of a national organization, and every year annually they get to participate in a competition that allows students through student life to travel around the country. And I've been with students that have gone on these trips, and they've gone, it's usually in March, and in several places in this country it's snowing in March, and we have students that have gone on this trip that have never seen snow. And so to take these students to these places, take them out of Florida to this conference and allow them the opportunity to meet other students that are in the same club at a different place and learning similar things, have similar interests, and they start to talk to them and network with people from across the country. And while they're there, they actually get to compete in criminal justice and crime scene related activities. And they get to win awards and trophies, which we won the last time we went. It was very exciting. So there's a bunch of different categories, and they get to win awards based on this knowledge, and they get to network, and they go to dinners, and they go to dances, and they meet students. But they also have like a job fair with local police agencies, and they get to talk to people that are actually in this field and doing this job. And so they network not only with other students across the country, but with other agencies and people in this job, and chat with them about things they want to do. And the last one we went to was in Baltimore area in Maryland. And I was a Washington, D.C. police officer my prior life before coming here. And I was able to get with my connections there in D.C. and we took the students to Washington, D.C. and we got to tour the Capitol, and we got to go to the police department and see the academy, and we got to meet officers and go see the jail and all these really cool things that they would have never been able to do had they not been a part of this organization. And they got to travel and just some really cool experiences that they were able to experience through this club and through this organization. And it's just one of the many things that students are able to do when they start to get involved in these things.
Yeah, it's so crazy when you consider kind of the way that we approach it in student life. It's like the spectrum of development, because it's so broad. So it reminds me of like something as simple as Michelle once shared about how she had asked during one of her initial club meetings for her students to take the meeting minutes. And so the student at the end of the meeting mentioned how long the meeting ran for, but all that middle piece was missing. And so it's like development can look, like I said, as simple as like that is something that they have to learn for their professional careers, is what taking meeting minutes looks like. And then it could be also the personal development piece and like learning those skill sets that you need moving forward, regardless of the industry or the career that you're interested in. And to Jason's point, the academic piece, which yes, is super important. And actually myself and my two colleagues from the other campuses actually mentioned that on last week's live, because we were talking about just some of like the large scale benefits in general of being an engaged or an involved student. And people don't realize the difference when you're looking nationally about like if you choose to get involved in whatever that involvement looks like. It can look like a club or an organization. You can get a job on campus. You can become a tutor. You could just go to programs regularly and just like I said, do something for you. But typically they do have higher grade point averages than their counterparts who choose to not, you know, get involved in campus activities. So there's just so many things. It's just endless in terms of, like I said, that spectrum of development and watching our students grow personally and professionally, that's just, it's just incredible. There's no words to kind of watch that in our roles. So I just wanted to thank the three of you so much for your time today. We're so appreciative, like I said, of all the information that you had to share about your experiences so far. And we're very hopeful that it'll resonate with some of our newer students specifically. And we'll get to see what those future engagements look like for you all specifically in your organizations and for all the other organizations across the college.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Hey, thank you. I don't know why I'm the only one wearing a headset here, but thank you so much. It was great speaking with you.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. I'm so glad we got to host you all. And thank you, Seahawks, as always, for tuning in. Do not forget, like I said, Club Rush is next week. So next Tuesday and Thursday. And if you want to get the links to join, because obviously it'll be virtual, you just need to go to any of the Facebook events page for any of the Student Life offices. So any of their social media handles will have the links to jump into their respective programs. They'll be hosted at 11 a.m. on both days, and you can jump in whenever from that 11 to 12:30 time slot. And we cannot wait to see how you want to connect and get involved. And then we hope to see you for next week's Student Live as we introduce you all to your student deans. So thank you all so much again, and have a great day. Bye.